Does name bias still exist in human resources? Now, you've all seen the video of the lady trying to explain name bias and how when resumes come into the human resources department, your resume has a good chance of being rejected based on your name alone, just based on the fact that you have a "ka" or a "kwa" or something like that in your name is considered ghetto. But in this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about that particular video, as well as what my feedback is and what I'm going to add to that video as well, because bias does exist, and I'm going to break it down in this video coming up. Hi there, my name is Janica, and I am here to help you navigate the HR space. And in this video, we're talking about name bias. Yes, name bias is when a person is discriminated against. When your resume rolls in, then they have one look at your name and it gets tossed out all completely. Like your resume doesn't even get looked at. You're classified as ghetto, foreign, you're from somewhere else, and they don't even want to take the time to get to know you as a person. This is extremely unethical. It is extremely illegal to discriminate against someone based on their race, based on the fact that you believe that this person is from some sort of nationality that you're not familiar with, and so they get completely omitted from the candidacy. And this is not right. So what happens to you as a human resources professional if you encounter names that you're not familiar with, or if you have coworkers, other recruiters and hiring managers who are trying to kind of toss out those resumes, the ones that have those names? This is an opportunity to educate them and an opportunity to infuse some level of professionalism and positivity back into the human resources department, as well as the hiring processes. We know that you cannot discriminate on someone based on their name, where they live. This is reason why there's a lot of software products out there, a lot of AI tools out there being used that strips the candidate's name off. It strips their address off of it. So the recruiters and also the hiring managers cannot see that information, and they can solely only focus on the candidate's resume to avoid all of that biases that exist. Okay, and the second point that I want to make is do not contribute to the problem. When you see fellow recruiters and members of the human resources department picking at candidates' names and, chuckling, oh, their name is, oh, whatever. Don't be a part of the problem. Be a part of the solution and use it as an opportunity to educate them and to try and get them to rethink the way that they're processing things. Get them to only focus on the skill set that the candidate has instead of their name. And what's so important during this time is that you remain professional. We, as human resources professionals, we have to have some sort of ethics, and we are responsible for processing all of those candidates. And we are, so whether it is the hiring managers or the recruiters or the sourcers who are responsible for collecting all those resumes and parsing that data, we have to remain professional above all things, because when we're not professional, we set the stage for other unprofessional behavior to leak into the department. So for you as a human resources professional, whether you are a recruiter or a sourcer, it is important for you to educate yourself and to figure out how to pronounce the name appropriately. You can also, if you're responsible for calling up the candidates and talking to them, ask them, is this the correct way of pronouncing your name? And you don't want to butcher a person's name, because it is rather disrespectful, like not only to butcher a person's name, but to just continue on with mispronouncing it. So it is important to just say, hey, you know what? I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I am pronouncing this correctly. Can you please tell me how to pronounce this? And the candidate is always going to be very polite with you and is always going to be willing to share the correct pronunciation of their name with you. Another point that I want to make is just don't get caught up on the name. Just only focus on their skill set. Their application made it, their resume made it all the way through the ATS, and they're qualified for the job. So who cares what their name is? Just don't get caught up on the name alone. A name is something that is given to a person when they are born. Their parents did the best that they could to name them something unique, and that's none of your business. That is strictly with them and their family and their parents and what was chosen for them. Just be very respectful of people who have names that are different than yourself. Now, one part of this video where she states where a person should use a middle name. I'm not a big proponent of using fake names, middle names, nicknames, and things like that. I think that you should be proud of the name that you have, and you need to demonstrate that. I would like to know, however, leave some comments below. Have you ever been discriminated against? Or has your resume ever been passed over on your name alone? I would like to know how many of you have really experienced this. And I'll say this for myself. My name is Yannicka, and the origin of my name, I believe, is Swedish, but I'm not really quite sure. I've done some research on it, and it just seems to be coming across everywhere. But anyway, you would be surprised how many times where I say my name is Yannicka, and it comes back as, oh, your name is Yowanda, Yolanda, Yonika, Yannicka, Yan. And even when you're typing in the iPhone, it comes out as tonic. So it's just the weirdest thing for me how my name has been butchered throughout the years. But you know what? I've learned to just laugh it off, correct the person, and just say, it's like Monica, but with a Y. Yannicka just rolls off the tongue, and it's not as complicated as you would think. I even send emails to people with my name, and they still respond to the email with a K and A's where they don't belong and all kinds of stuff like that. So I tell you this from a place of love that, and a place from experience, that it's no fun having your name butchered on purpose. And even if you have a job for several years, they're still butchering your name out of just sheer disrespect. And honestly, for the candidates that are watching this video, if you have been discriminated against based on your name, that company was not for you to be working with anyway. I feel as if a lot of unprofessionalism and incivility exist in the workplace, and just count it as one less headache that you'll have on your plate as far as dealing with a place that discriminates against people from different ethnic backgrounds. That's it for me in this video. If you like what you've heard, I would like for you to click subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.